Hey, and good Tuesday afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majeski back with you here in the North Georgia First Alert Weather Center with your weather update here on your April 22nd, 2025. Now, as always, before we get going, we'd like to say welcome aboard and thank you to all our new followers here on this page. And if you're not yet officially a follower, or if you're not quite sure, make sure you go to that link down below. It's going to take you to the main web page right there. That's the main Facebook page. You're going to hit that like button in that upper right-hand corner, and that way you're an official follower here on the North Georgia First Alert Weather Facebook page. Now, if you're watching over on YouTube, you know what you got to do. Hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you're alerted for future updates. All right, the story this afternoon has to be the wet weather, and you may notice I have the yellow icon back there. Yeah, well, when it's yellow, that means we got some potential for some severe weather or some sort of active weather in the area, so we're yellow for today as the Storm Prediction Center has lit up North Georgia under a marginal risk for severe weather. I'll show you that. Again, I'm not expecting all that much, but we got to go to yellow mode when that is in the forecast. So let's go ahead and take a live look what's going on right now across the area. Definitely a little wet and damp there up in Dahlonega. And as you folks head on home for work for today, just make sure you slow down, give your buddy a little extra space with the wet roads. You can see the steady rains here falling across Helen as well. Just kind of a damp and dreary day. One of those days you just want to stay inside. You can just watch some TV or something, but it's going to be a little damp and rainy here for this evening and really for a lot of this upcoming week. All right, let's look at the local radar again. Here is the rain that's stretching here from Helen down to Dahlonega. Gainesville gets some showers, some heavy rains there toward Gwinnett County, over toward Barrow County. Seeing some rains back over here into Alabama as well. So this wet trend is going to be sticking around for most of the week, folks. So just keep that umbrella handy. The good news is we've got a lot of pollen in the air that's going to help clean the atmosphere, give it a good bath. And number two, we've been a little bit on the dry side, so we can take this rain. It's definitely needed. Notice the rains extend back over here toward Alabama. We have a stationary boundary here across northern Mississippi, Alabama, and going into Tennessee. This boundary is going to pretty much just wash itself out here across the southeast. But we're going to stay under a wet pattern here through tomorrow. And the rain chances start to taper off a little bit, but we really don't start to clear on out until we get toward the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So as we look at the regional satellite picture, again, not going to see much in the way of sunshine, really, today and tomorrow. It's going to be that kind of activity, and we'll watch for this wet pattern to continue. Looks like tomorrow's going to be another fairly high rain chance day, between 60 and 80%, kind of depending on where you're at. And then we'll kind of back things off a little bit as we go into later in the work week. So here's that marginal risk from the Storm Prediction Center. Again, that's why we're in yellow mode for today, stretching from the Carolinas back toward Alabama, Mississippi, and in Louisiana. So if we get a severe thunderstorm, it'll be very isolated. So maybe some strong gusty winds, heavy rains, a little lightning. That's probably the main threat you're going to see here for this afternoon. So let's go ahead and talk about this. We're looking at the latest high-resolution model data here as we're doing a 48-hour loop here with the rain threat. So we got the rain threat here continuing through this afternoon. You see this timestamp there in the upper right-hand corner there. And we're going to continue the rain chances here going for the next couple of days, going into Thursday morning. Obviously, the best rain chances will be during the afternoon. Get some daytime heating. We got a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, and we're going to fire up the showers and thunderstorms. So that'll be for the next couple of days. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the rainfall amounts and everything that we're going to expect here for the week. We're going to switch some model data a little bit and kind of get you updated on how this is going to break down. So let's go ahead and first, let's take a look at the latest European model here. We're going to be looking at the rainfall totals. We're going to look at the rainfall totals here over the next week. So we're going to take this all the way out to the end of this run. And you notice basically not bad. A lot of these rainfall totals, inch and a half, inch and a half, inch and a half. So, inch and a half to 2 inches looks reasonable for me for this upcoming week. There may be some localized areas that may be a little bit higher, but for the most part, this is needed rainfall that we're going to see all across the southeast here over the next week. All right, let's go ahead and take this over to precipitation mode here as we're going to kind of track the precipitation here for this week. So let me go ahead and back this up. As again, we're going to kind of see that wet and rainy pattern here going to continue right into your Wednesday. There's the Wednesday day, looking a little wet by 2 o'clock, and then getting a break during the day, and then we get some more to fire up in the afternoon. There's Thursday, showing some rains there. And then as we get to Friday and Saturday, here comes a little front that comes on through. I think Friday and Saturday. So we got a front coming on in here. So we're going to see, again, some rains coming in here. We're going to see some dry air coming in here. And then eventually a little bit of a northeast wedge. High pressure is going to be passing to the north. And as we go into this weekend, we'll kind of shut the precipitation down. Saturday and Sunday looking pretty good. And also looking good going into Monday. So Sunday, Monday looking pretty well. We're looking all dry here across the southeast. Humidity will back down just a little bit, and the temperatures will also respond a little bit as well. So let's look at the surface maps. We'll go ahead and break you down through this. Again, kind of watch that little highlight area there at the top as we kind of go through the days here as we go into your Wednesday. So remaining unsettled for Wednesday as well, and going into Thursday and Friday. We're going to continue those rain chances here. There's Thursday. And there's Friday. The rain chances come back up on Friday. And then going into Saturday, we start tapering things off. Front comes on through here going into Sunday. All right, got Sunday, got maybe a slight chance of a shower on Sunday, but Monday I got us drying out. You notice we got this area of high pressure here up across Pennsylvania. You'll have a kind of a northeasterly high pressure ridge kind of building in here across the eastern half of the Appalachians. Don't think it's going to be a true wedge there just yet, but looks like we'll stay high and dry going into Sunday and Monday of next week. Some pretty good weather after a kind of a wet and damp week. So here we go with our forecast here for tomorrow. I'm going to keep that elevated rain chances. And by the way, because we're dealing with some weak little disturbances, those rain chances per day may fluctuate just a little bit, but we're looking a little bit wet for tomorrow. 79 and 80 there for your high there in the Gainesville area. Elsewhere across North Georgia, we'll keep it in the 50s up in the mountains. Generally, everybody else right around 60 degrees for tomorrow. We'll get a little bit of a break tonight, and then we'll have rain coming back at us in the morning. So we'll have some AM showers around maybe for your morning drive and the commute for tomorrow morning. Afternoon temperatures very similar to today. We'll be in the 70s to right around 80 degrees. Again, scattered showers and thunderstorms, hit and miss all across our region, but pretty decent coverage here. I think pretty similar to what we're seeing out there for this afternoon. Regionally looking like this: Nashville 82, 83 in Memphis, as well as down toward New Orleans, 79 in Destin, 84 over in Columbia, 80 degrees in Charlotte. So southeast just remaining a little unsettled with temperatures running still a little bit above average. All right, here we go for the next 7 days. All right, going to keep that rain chance high, 70% for Wednesday and Thursday. Back it off on Friday, Saturday. That front should clear on through. And then maybe we're still showing maybe a shower or two may across North Georgia on Sunday. But Sunday looking pretty good. The weekend, Saturday might be a little damp. Sunday's looking better. And then early next week, really not bad. Highs around 80 and lows in the upper 50s to around 60. That's pretty seasonable for this time as far as the daytime highs. Overnight lows maybe a little above average, but really not looking too bad for this week. All right, well, we'll continue to get things rolling in the right direction here. We're going to be knocking on 4,000 here pretty soon. The big goal right now, the short-term goal, is we got to get our Facebook professional reestablished. That's 10,000 followers. So we got to continue to do that. So if you haven't followed, again, that link's in the comments section. Hit that like button there. Help us out. Share it with your family and friends here as we're doing this rebuild. You know, did it once before, we can do it again. The only bad thing is, when we built the page originally, we had winter weather going around, and we were able to grow this thing pretty fast. We had about 35,000 followers. So eventually we may get that page back, and we'll be able to merge them. There's an option to do that. We can merge these in the future. But until then, we just got to pretend and say we're starting from scratch, and we're doing this thing all over again. So with y'all's help, we'll get back to it. All right, that's y'all's update for today, guys. Take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow on the next update. Till then, y'all have a great afternoon. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.